Good morning. It's 7:27 here in New York. Looking at the Dow, we've already seen that the market is gapping down. Right, Dow futures already hit the limit over pre-market. As you can see right here, Dow futures hit limit down, circuit breaker in coronavirus stock market correction, Amazon, blah blah blah. So, like I said, we are headed for the 18K mark. I had been saying it for quite some time. The market is going to correct, at the very least, going to correct down to 18K. Happened a lot faster than I thought. So looking at the actual 5 minutes lately, I have been realizing that the market has actually been gapping down through supports instead of testing supports. Like for example, 22. Um, even even with 24, we gapped through 24 right here, and then here, slightly testing it, and then gapping down below 22, and then gapping down again, gapping down again. The market's been doing that and then testing on the way up. So we've been gapping down and then testing on the way up. So we're not even holding supports, and that's just because the volume at the open and what's going on overnight, because we're just a reflection, we're reflecting what's going on overseas. So if the overseas market goes down, then we go down, right? That should be very obvious. So like I said, the market is going to be hitting 18K, and it's going to continue to go down because there is nothing that the government can do. Like adding liquidity into the market is not the solution. The solution is taking drastic measures into combating the coronavirus. So that's why you're kind of seeing the kind of like the drip effect, which is like they're kind of like piecemealing people. They're like, first they're going to be closing down, these stores, and then they're going to be closing down, gyms. Then they don't want any, no gatherings over 500. Then no gatherings, then 50% of that capacity. Then no gatherings over 100. Then no gatherings over 50. Then no gatherings over 10. Right, and the reason being is because they're slowly working towards a lockdown, which they feel will panic the people, but also because you don't want to lock down too early, because then you have to lock down for a long time. The lockdown is more than likely to last at a minimum of 2 months. The reason being is because one, you have to clear everybody of all the virus, and studies have shown that the latest that a person has been confirmed with no symptoms is up to around 27 days, I believe. Right? Then you have to deal with the waves of patients that Cuomo and stuff has been talking about on YouTube. Cuomo's been talking extensively. They're always talking about flatten the curve, flatten the curve, flatten the curve, etc. And that's because as hospital workers are going to end up dealing with these massive amounts of people, it becomes very difficult to care. Kind of like what's going on in Italy right now. As you can see, Italy already at 31.5 with 2,500 dead. And the real interesting part about this is that those who are in the hospital who are ill, like this is a reflection of the people who are in the hospital, right? This is a reflection of the people who have come into the hospital and have been tested. And looking at the numbers don't look good at all, right? It's literally out of the 5 or so thousand that have basically gone through the end portion of this virus who have come into the hospital, only half of them, a little more than half of them, have been cured, right? Or if you're talking about statistically, because you can't just take the 7.9% is a reflection of the whole, which is an incorrect way of doing it. You should redo those who have cleared over the whole, right? And so you can see it's like almost a 50%. It's like 2949 have recovered from the virus, and 2500 have died. The rest are still infected, right? The rest are still infected. Of the 5500 or so that have in essence finished their course through the disease process, have either, the obviously is you live or you die. You live and you recover from the virus, or you die as a result of complications of the virus. But the rest of these patients are still sick. There's still another 26,000 or so that are still critically ill, and more to come. as Italy has said that the waves of people coming into their ED has not stopped. And of course, this is not a reflection of all those who have the virus. It's just a reflection of all those who've come into the hospital system, required hospitalization, and tested positive. Very similar to in the US. Very slow to indicate, because they're not really testing all that many patients. Anyway, so like I said, market's going to be gapping down. We're going to be retesting 20,000, right? Because we got a little bit of support here at 20K. We're more likely going to Peter Pan over 20K, and we're going to work our way towards 18K. In my opinion, I've been trading for a long time. I've been trading for about 18 years. In my opinion, we're going to see 16K. No doubt. Like, it's not a doubt in my mind that we're going to see 16K. The amount of money, the reason being is in America, we haven't even started to look like Italy, right? So if the markets are still open, when people start hearing of the death rate, right? When people start seeing this number balloon, if the market is still open, then we'll get massive selling. So the government will either be forced to inject more liquidity, which is just literally printing paper, right? Which will cause inflation, which will lead us headlong into a hard recession. Possibly people are talking about depression. And of course, will spike the market. You'll see more aggressive selling, which will either lead the government to halt the markets altogether. They'll suspend trading indefinitely until this is over, or for a specific amount of time, because it will happen, right? We're already seeing it, and you're seeing it based off of what's going on overseas. We haven't even gotten through the whole thing with oil, right? Oil is like still there in the back burner. China is doing some very dangerous, pulling some dangerous moves. I think there was an article here where China had removed some reporters. And China right now is responsible for like a lot of the trade that's going on. So China could kind of want to like be a dick and be like, you know what, Mr. Trump, you were like messing with us with this trade war, and then now you're basically in the shitter, and they may choose to not trade with the country indefinitely, because they're doing some kind of dumb shit right now. Like they're tossing out with the whole blaming America for the coronavirus. Then they recently tossed out a bunch of U.S. supporters, like reporters. American reporters are no longer allowed. The press are no longer allowed to get coverage. The article here, I can't just remember reading it 2 seconds ago. But in any event, as things start to unfold, there could be a lot going on within the country between America and China. China would be stupid to start a war. Hey, in these types of times, people do dumb things. The fact that China is trying to blame America for the coronavirus and banning certain trades within the U.S., India banning all trade of drugs coming outside of the company, Germany also banning all PPE coming out of the company, America trying to poach a possible German vaccine will not pose well if countries start to think that America is basically becoming selfish and only thinking about themselves. That will not bode well in the global community. So, like I said, in terms of trading, watch for the downside. I would use opportunities to where the market gaps up or where we kind of rally, and use those opportunities and nibble on the short side. Don't go all in, especially if we're coming up to resistance areas like 22. The market could kind of rally and we may hit 20. We may come back to 22, which is what I thought. When I saw this rally, I'm like, they're just testing 22, and we even fell short of 22, and that's with the government injecting money into the market. So it's very important to understand, if the government was not doing that, we would probably already be at 18K as they've been doing it several times into the bond market, and then they are now doing it into the securities market. But I would say watch for 18. If we hit 18 and we gap through 18 like we've been doing, as you look at the volume, you can see the volume is just ridiculous. We will hit 16. So that's my next spot where I'm going to inject some more money into my M1 finance. portfolio. And then of course, if we do gap down, then I'll wait again until we hit that 16K mark, because you don't know the bottom, and that's why I say, wait for a bottom, because there will be ample time. But I am hitting some strategic points where I know we might find some footing. We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching. Take care. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and be safe out there. Make sure to wash your hands, and of course, if possible, use some sort of a mask to cover your nose and mouth. And don't touch your face.